Hi, everyone. I had a question in my Facebook group recently from someone who said her sales have slowed down a lot, and she makes like earrings from polymer clay that are dog earrings and animal earrings. And she's located in Australia. There are a lot of things that could be going into this. And I've also seen some videos recently about Etsy SEO is dead. Don't use keywords. You don't have to worry about that. I disagree with that, but I do agree with the fact that Etsy ranking and selling on Etsy is a lot more complicated now than it used to be when we could just rely on keywords to get to the top of search because that's not how it works anymore. So let's go over to Etsy. We're going to look at the Etsy results for some of these searches and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I've gone to Etsy and searched for schnauzer earrings because she makes polymer clay schnauzer earrings. It's one of her listings. And as we're coming up here, the first thing that we see is Etsy's picks. Okay, so first of all, if you don't have an Etsy's Picks badge, you're not going to be in this. And also, apparently, and these are included in the Etsy's Picks for Schnauzer earrings. Also, this is an angel and a devil. These are not schnauzers. The only ones that I see here are schnauzers are these. So it could be that Etsy's Picks doesn't include schnauzer earrings very often. First row here is ads, so we can ignore those. And this is the first organic row of Etsy's listings that Etsy has ranked, and it's the third row down. Okay, so the first thing that you need to understand is even if you have the exact product that is matched in Etsy search in your listing, in the title description, that's exactly what it is. Etsy might not be showing that because they're favoring ads and they're favoring Etsy's picks. And ranking is not necessarily based on what your product is and what your keywords are. You do have to have the keywords in there if you want to be, included in organic search to a certain extent. But Etsy has really gone crazy with showing people things that are sort of related, but not exactly what they searched for. It's not a good experience, but no one's asking me, and the Etsy engineers haven't called me recently to get my opinion. So we just have to be aware that it's going on, but that could be one reason. If people come to Etsy and they search for schnauzer earrings and they see this, that's the first thing they're shown. And also, it's going to be different on mobile. All right. So I'm not sure what it looks like on mobile, but you do need to check because a lot of people shop on mobile now. And if they're getting this kind of result and they're having to scroll past all of that, that's a mess. And they're just going to leave. So schnauzer earrings. These are all schnauzer earrings. Okay. And then we've got one more. Here's the one that was the Etsy's pick. We've got one more set. And then we have another row of ads. Okay, Etsy has increased the number of ads that they have on a search result page. And they said that. They said we're pushing ads in a recent tech conference or something. I think it was a blog article. They said we're putting more ads on the page in whatever terminology they used. And depending on how many ads are showing up on the search result page for your products, you might have to start using ads to get more visibility. It's not a bad thing to advertise, but I would watch very carefully with Etsy ads because their cost per click is high and it can eat your profits up really quickly. If your product doesn't have a higher selling price and a bigger profit margin, and when I'm saying higher and bigger, it's all relative. So you have to watch your own numbers because it's going to be different for everyone. But ads are really showing up a lot more on Etsy search result pages. And you need to be aware of that. So it's just something to take note of if you want to be found on the first page of search. The next thing that is involved with ranking that might be affecting people at this point is location of your shop. And Etsy has been saying for years that they are concentrating on getting people to shop from the country that they're in. So they want more customers in Germany to shop from German Etsy shops. They want more customers in Canada to shop from Canadian Etsy shops. They want more customers in the US to shop from US Etsy shops. And they just put out an article based on the tariffs again that said shop domestically. And that's what they mean when they say domestically. It means from within the country that you're in. However, the vast majority of Etsy buyers are in the US. So for international sellers, this could be a problem for you if Etsy is encouraging people to shop based on their location and you're not in that location. I did go through this, and there are listings on this page that are not in the US, and I'm located in the US. So it doesn't mean that you're 100% only going to be shown things from your country. That's not the case yet. And I'm not saying that they're not pushing, it could be that it would be like a 50-50 split, but now it's an 80-20 split between US sellers and international sellers for me looking at this search result. I don't know if Etsy is manipulating that though. That could be something about why your sales are lower because you're not being seen by as many people outside of your own country. That's speculation though. I'm not saying that's happening. I'm just saying that that could be part of it. And they have been pushing faster shipping. We know that localization is part of their search ranking algorithm. And how that gets dialed up or dialed down is uncertain. But at this point, they've basically said, we want to dial that up for a while at least. So that could be, if you're not in the US, that could be one reason that your sales are slower is because they've dialed that up behind the scenes. And nobody really knows the breakdown of that unless you're watching every single listing all the time, which is just impossible. Another thing that could be affecting sales being slower is that, like I said at the beginning, people are frustrated. And I've had a lot of people who I know personally have said that Etsy is very frustrating to shop on because they show you so many things that are not what you're looking for. And I did go into the schnauzer earrings. I was searching for polymer clay schnauzer earrings, and it was coming up with a lot of cutters to make them. It wasn't showing me earrings, it was showing me craft supplies. So if that's the kind of result that people are getting on Etsy, they're not going to shop on Etsy because they want to see what they're searching for. And other search engines on other platforms are doing a better job of actually giving people the result that they searched for. And that's what's going to happen. People are just going to go to platforms that actually show them what they're looking for, and they're going to buy there. So what should you be doing to improve your sales on Etsy and to get more Etsy sales? I hate to say, I've been saying this for a while, but I've been saying this for a while. Actually, I don't hate to say that because I've been saying this for a while. You need to drive your own traffic. We have to look at Etsy like it's just a platform. And it's a platform where you put your listings and then you do the work to send people to your shop. And if you happen to get organic sales from people that you did not send to your shop and they found you through the search, then you need to work to get that customer onto your email list or to trust you to come back to your shop and become a repeat buyer, because Etsy is not going to do that work for you. When you get one sale on Etsy, that item goes to the top of search results for a while, and it becomes a self-fulfilling cycle where Etsy will loop it back up. And I have diagrams about this that I put in my eShop program years ago because Etsy has always done this. If something sells, Etsy puts it back to the top of search results for a while, and then it probably will be more likely to sell again because it's at the top of results and people don't have to search for it. So they search for something, it's at the top, they click on it, they buy it. Most people buy from the top part of the search result page on page 1 of search results. If you're on page 2 or page 3, your chances of selling are a lot lower. You can't rely on Etsy search 100% anymore. You need to do your own work. And there are lots of videos on this channel about how to do that work. I have videos about getting people on your email list. I have videos about blogging. I have videos about doing YouTube. I've got a lot of videos about getting traffic. I also have a monthly membership where you can join, and it's about getting traffic to wherever you want it to go. It's mostly for websites, but Etsy is, like I said, just a website at this point. You cannot rely on Etsy to do the work for you. You need to get your own sales started. And once that sale starts, that it's a flywheel. It'll just start going by itself. You know how at the beginning it's a lot of work, but then once the wheel starts moving, you just have to go boop, 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 and it'll keep it going a lot easier. That's what Etsy has become. Etsy is making it difficult to get organic sales these days for a lot of reasons, whether it's localization or just showing things that have free shipping or whatever the reason is. And if you want to get steady sales on Etsy, you're going to have to do a lot more work. And that's just how it is. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's the truth. So if you have any questions, post them. Give this video a thumbs up, even if you don't like my message, and I will talk to you later.